Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Grace Field. We had a long rain delay, but it looks as though that we will be getting action underway once again here in Xenia. It is a 1-1 game between the Sugar Beets and the Scouts. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. Thank you so much for sticking with us through this rain delay that has pushed us up to 8:45 or so. Let's go ahead and get you caught up on what has taken place in this game so far. Sugar Beets jumped out to a quick 1-0 lead thanks to an RBI single by Ryan Robinette. And then Graham Welch for Xenia retaliated with an RBI single of his own in the bottom half of the first. That has been the only two scoring tallies in this game. Saginaw threatened with the bases loaded with nobody out in the second inning. And this was after the Scouts suffered an injury on the mound as Josh Wilson had to leave due to something to do with his arm. Enter the reliever, Adam Goodpaster, who then proceeded to get the Scouts out of the jam with 3 straight outs. And that's where we currently stand as we get set to resume play here in the top half of the third. Riley, after going through a long rain delay, you're the former player, so you tell me, what do you have to do to keep yourself in the game, keep yourself loose during that rain delay?
You just got to keep yourself focused. Whatever you got to do that helps you do that, just chilling in the dugout with the guys, still talking baseball. You still got to keep in the back of your mind that there's a game to be played still. You just have to – it's just maintaining focus. It's all mental and whatever, and it's person to person, case to case, how you stay focused in that type of rain delay. But you got to do what you got to do.
So now Connor Charping will come to the plate. The pitch. That is down low for a ball. And we're back underway here at Grady's Field as the count is now 1-1 on Charping, who fouled out to third his last time up. And the pitch is down low for a ball. So if you're just joining us, we're here in the top half of the third of a 1-1 game between the Sugar Beets and the Scouts. Long rain delay, but we are finally back to playing baseball. Here's a foul ball down the line and just out of the reach of the first baseman, Felix King, as the count will move to 2 balls and 2 strikes on Connor Charping. Ryan Robinette, who plated the first run of the evening for Saginaw, waiting on deck. And coming up later in the evening, or in the inning, I should say, we will have tonight's trivia question. What has Mr. Harshman come up with tonight? We'll have the answer to that question very soon as that pitch is inside for a ball. So now we're going to go full 3-2 on Connor Charping. Goodpaster, meanwhile, looking in for his side. He will deliver. That pitch is down low for a ball, and Charping begins the frame with a walk as Ryan Robinette comes to the plate. Let's now get to tonight's trivia question.
So tonight's trivia question, which of the following pitchers threw a no-hitter in his rookie season? Was it Dwight Gooden, Sandy Koufax, Dizzy Dean, or Don Wilson?
Another good question brought up by Riley Harshman. We will revisit that coming up in the bottom half of the inning. In the meantime, Truman Brown out to the mound to talk with Goodpaster, the right-hander, as they now try to go to work against Ryan Robinette. Rain continues to fall here in the area, but because this is a turf field, they can withstand the rain. The good news is that no lightning in the area, at least for right now, as that pitch is taken outside for a ball. That's one of the reasons why we've had a couple games that have been canceled tonight. Not a lot of fields around the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League have all turf fields, like Grady's Field here tonight. As that pitch is outside, it gets away from Jarrett Lindsay, Truman Brown, as Charping will move up to second on the play. Pass ball or wild pitch?
It's a little bit of both because that bunt was being put up. Truman Brown's vision gets blocked by the bat and the batter's body, but it did hit his glove. So technically the ruling is a pass ball, but you also have to feel for the catchers on a play like that.
So Ryan Robinette, the batter, working with a 1-0 count. The pitch outside for a ball, 2-0 the count. Robinette with that RBI single back in the first inning that played at the first run of the evening. Gave the Sugar Beets a quick 1-0 lead, but Xenia was able to retaliate with an RBI by Graham Welch in the bottom half of the first, and that's where we stand for right now. 1-1 game between Saginaw and Xenia as that pitch is taken on the inside corner for a strike. Cal moves to 3 balls and 1 strike on Robinette as Brady Wood continues to wait on deck. Rain steadily falling here in Xenia, but we're playing. And good passer as he lifts his leg. Time is called. Xenia and Saginaw, they're going to at least try to get this game to about 4.5, 5 innings to make it an official game as this pitch is bunted up the third baseline. There's plenty of rain, plenty of thunder and lightning. Nice hustle by Caleb Beater, getting to that foul ball and picking it up. As good passer sets the 3-2. This is a fly ball out to left field, and it will drop in front of Chambers. Holding at third will be Charping. And now the ball gets away, and Charping will move on into third. Moving up all the way to third on the play is Ryan Robinette. It's a 2-1 lead for Saginaw. Goodness gracious. So now Brady Wood will come to the plate. The third baseman grounded out to the pitcher his last time up. So now a 2-1 lead for the Sugar Beets. Just like that, the Scouts, well, they don't have a tie game.
That's what happens when rain happens and it gets wet out there. Everything becomes harder on a baseball field. Throwing, hitting, fielding, everything gets a little bit harder when rain's involved.
Pitch inside for a ball. 1-0 the count on Brady Wood. 0 for 1 on the evening so far. The pitch. And that is low for a ball. 2-0 the count on Brady Wood. So Charping came to score on the play. Robinette, meanwhile, going all the way to third. On an error by Chandler Chambers. As that pitch is fouled off to the right. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Man, and that rain is now really starting to come down. You look at the field lights here at Grady's Field, and you can clearly see the raindrops coming down one by one. And here's a pop-up on the right side. It'll be out of play. 2-2 the count on Brady Wood. Sean Fannin waiting on deck for Saginaw. Good passer sets at the belt. Here comes the 2-2. And that's inside, so now we'll go full 3-2 on Brady Wood. Right now, as I look at the radar, there's a lot of green over Xenia. And boy, they are getting absolutely hammered down Cincinnati when it comes to thunderstorms and all that. Here's a fly ball down the left field line. It'll bounce in front of Chambers. Scoring on the play is going to be Robinette as he comes in to score on what turns out to be an RBI double by Brady Wood. It's now a 3-1 lead for Saginaw. So now Sean Fannin will come to the plate. Fannin walked his last time up. So far, not a promising inning for the right-hander good passer as he has given up a walk. Robinette going all the way to third on the error by the left fielder Chambers. And then moments ago, a double by Brady Wood down the left field line as that pitch is taken outside for a ball. 1-0 the count on Sean Fannin. Cincinnati right now getting pounded by thunderstorms, and there's also seen a lot of red and yellow out towards Eaton It's heading towards Centerville, and it's basically heading in the direction of Xenia, as that pitch is fouled off on the third base line. So we are going to have to deal with rain seemingly all night long, and probably within the next 30 to 40 minutes, give or take, we're going to see more thunder and more lightning. You can play through rain on this field, but once you see a light show up above, that is when you have to call time and get everybody in the dugout. Fannin working with a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. And that is inside. I don't know how Fannin was able to get out of the way of that one, but he did. So now it is a 2-ball, 1-strike count on the Sugar Beets left fielder, Sean Fannin. Fannin, a right-handed batter against the right-handed throwing Goodpaster. Goodpaster once again at the belt. And now he'll deliver. That is down low. Runner going to third. And the throw goes into left field. Coming home to score on the play is Brady Wood. And it's now a 4-1 lead for Saginaw.
And that's the rain coming into effect there. We've seen Truman Brown very accurate, very strong arm behind the plate. Thrown out a lot of guys this year. Almost had Wood there, but with this rain, you know it's very hard, and that ball is probably a little wet, slipped out of Truman's hands a little bit. He is catching back there. He's probably one of the wetter guys out on the field right now.
And that's a foul ball down the third base line. So an error on the catcher, Truman Brown. Second error of the inning for the Scouts. Chambers, the left fielder, with an error earlier this inning. The 3-2 pitch. That's up high for a ball. So it's a walk for Sean Fannin, his second of the night. And now Max Trucks will come to the plate. Trucks with a single his last time up into right field. The pitch. This is popped up high in the air on a bunt attempt, and Truman Brown is able to make the catch for the first out of the inning.
Much needed out there. You can definitely tell that the Sugar Beets definitely favored from the rain delay that just happened and came out swinging here to start out the third inning, got a couple of doubles, and have really put Goodpaster on notice.
So now coming to the plate is Daniel Page. He's the shortstop for Saginaw. And he has walked so far in this game. The pitch has swung on and missed. You know, I'm a natural curious person. Before this series began, I didn't know what a sugar beet was. So I decided to look it up. As Goodpaster looks in for his sign. And now he'll throw over to first, running back in plenty of time. According to Wikipedia, sugar beet is a plant whose root contains a high concentration of sucrose, or sugar, and which is grown commercially for sugar production. In plant breeding, it is known as the Altissima cultivar group of the common beet. The pitch. Man, that is swung on and missed. 2 strikes and nothing count on Daniel Page. As recently as 2013, Russia, France, the U.S., Germany, and Turkey, those are the world's 5 largest sugar beet producers. That pitch is down low for a ball. 1-2 the count now on Daniel Page. That pitch is outside for a ball.
Yeah, Goodpaster struggling with the breaking ball location. Almost had it a couple pitches ago on the inside corner, but he's not having as much control of that pitch as he would like. Probably due to this rain is one of those reasons why, but he needs to try to find a way to keep the balls in the strike zone.
That pitch is down low for a ball. Saginaw Sugar Beets, the team that the Scouts are taking on tonight. Sugar Beets, a popular plant, I would imagine, up in the grand old state of Michigan, which is why they ultimately went with the nickname. 3 balls, 2 strike count on Daniel Page. The pitch. This is fouled off to the right, so we'll do it again. Rain continues to steadily fall here at Grady's Field. Although, for all the rain that we've been having, there's actually some pretty good visibility out there on the field thanks to the lights that we are afforded here at the AIA Sports Complex and Retreat Center. So once again, a 3-ball, 2 strike count on the shortstop, Daniel Page. The pitch. That's down low for a ball, and the throw down to second will not be in time. So fan into second, Page with a walk. And now Jason Lester will be coming out to the mound. Don't know if this is going to be a pitching change or what. There is a right-hander warming up in the pen for the Scouts. Lester will go to the mound. And he'll make the call to the bullpen. So a new pitcher will be coming on the mound for the Scouts. We'll tell you about him in just a moment. In the meantime, we take a break. Still here in the top half of the third. Sugar Beets 4, Scouts 1, here on the Senior Scouts Radio Network. Still here in the top half of the third, and now a new pitcher on the mound for the Scouts as Diego Quinones comes on. The right-hander for the Bronx, New York. In his 8th appearance of the season. Already has 4 starts under his belt for the Scouts. A 1-1 record with a 9.14 earned run average, and in 20 2/3 innings pitched, he has struck out 14, and he has walked 30. Meanwhile, that'll spell the end of the night for Adam Goodpaster, who ends up going an inning and a third. He gives up 3 runs on 2 hits while walking 3 and striking out 1. A 4-1 lead for the Sugar Beets here in the top half of the third. So Diego completing his warm-up tosses. As he talks with Ben Bills. Home plate umpire was motioning towards the press box. I don't know if he wants the music turned down or what, but he was pointing toward in our general direction. So now we're ready for more baseball. Ryan Missel will come to the plate. He reached on a fielder's choice in his last time up, that coming back in the 2nd inning. And boy, the way this game is going and the way the weather's going, we could be in for a long night of baseball. As that pitch is down low for a ball, throw down to third, and he's out. Sean Fannin gunned down by Truman Brown, and the Brown family very happy with Truman making that play right there, as are we. 2 gone. So now Missile dealing with a 1-0 count. Runner at second is Daniel Page. Winona sets and delivers. Inside for a ball, 2-0 the count.
And control has been an issue for Quinones all summer, and like I've been saying, the rain doesn't make it any easier to throw the ball any more accurate. So Diego's really gonna have to dig deep and work on his mechanics and try to keep his pitches in the strike zone, get the scouts out of this inning, and give him a few more scoreless innings after this.
2-0 pitch on the way. Fouled off to the left. During the break, during that rain delay, Riley, you were showing me the difference between a baseball that's dry and a baseball that's wet. Explain to our listeners, our viewers, what that difference is.
So when a baseball not wet, you can grip it. The seams are good. The actual skin of the ball is good. You can grip that, and there's a lot of friction there, and there should be when it's
Throw
dry.
to second, and it is thrown into center field by Diego Quinones as the runner will now advance to third on the play. Boy, that'll be a throwing error on Diego, and the scouts have been throwing the ball around the ballpark with reckless abandon in this inning. That's now their third error of this frame. You just can't have that.
You can't. It's been pretty much all throwing errors, and that's where I was getting at with the baseball. Is when a baseball's wet, that skin part and the seams, they're wet, they're less friction, so it basically just slips through your hands.
And now the ball gets away from Truman Brown. Scoring on the play is Daniel Page. As this inning goes from bad to worse for the Scouts, it is now a 5-1 lead in favor of the Sugar Beets.
Now Diego still struggling to find the zone. Given the hitter's count here to Ryan Missile, Diego really needs a strike here and to keep this inning from getting any worse.
It's a 3-ball, 1-strike count on Missile. Waiting on deck is Noah Marcoux. 4 runs have now crossed the plate for the Sugar Beets as they have breaking this game open. A 5-1 lead for Saginaw now. Diego with the 3-1. Inside. And that's a walk. That is now the 4th walk of the inning. And now Noah Marcoux will come to the plate. Marcoux has walked and scored, and he's also struck out swinging. 0 for 1 on the night officially so far. Diego with the pitch. Inside and fouled. That was a jam shot that time by Marcoux as Diego came in on the hands with the fastball. Quinones looking in for his sign. And now he has it. Diego ready for the 0-1 pitch. Here it is. Man, it is fouled off to the left. So now an 0-2 hole for Noah Marcoux. His name is pronounced Marcoux, but the last name is spelled Marcoux. Obviously a last name of French origin. The pitch. Down low for a ball. Runner going to second. Throw down. In time. As Missile is gunned down for the final out of the inning. But 4 runs cross the plate for Saginaw here in the top half of the third as we head to the bottom half of the third. It's Sugar Beets 5, Scouts 1 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Back here at Grady's Field, as we head to the bottom half of the third, Saginaw 5, Scouts 1. As Felix King fouls it off to the right 0-1. Boy, if there's ever a guy that just needs a hit, not a homer, not a double, not a triple, but just a plain old hit, it's Felix King. He has seen his batting average dip below 200. It now stands at 197. Felix, 2 homers, 13 knocked in, does have a double on the season. And he's already in a 2 strikes and nothing count against Youngsbauer, the right-hander. The pitch. That is a call strike 3. And Felix knew it, too. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night as King is sat down for the first out. So now Chandler Chambers will come to the plate. He has scored the only run of the night for the Scouts. And after he singled, he was plated by Graham Welch with an RBI single back in the first. The pitch. And Chambers pulls back the bunt attempt. It'll be ball 1 as that pitch was outside. 1-0 the count on Chandler Chambers. Chambers with a batting glove on his left hand, no glove on the right hand. And here's a fly ball out to left field. This will split the gap into left center. Rattles up against the wall. It'll be extra bases for Chambers as he runs into second. A double for Chambers with 1 gone here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, Chambers picked a good one to swing at, got ahead in the count, found a good pitch to jump on and drive, did a good job of that. And when it's raining out like this, good things will happen when you put the ball in play.
So now Nick Tuttle will come to the plate. Tuttle popped out to the catcher his last time up on a bunt attempt. And Tuttle obviously looking for a much better result right here. And boy, oh boy, did he slam his bat in frustration on home plate after not being able to lay the bunt down. The pitch. That is inside for a ball. And while we have a moment, Riley, let's go ahead and revisit tonight's trivia question.
Tonight's trivia question was, which of the following pitchers threw a no-hitter in his rookie season? And the options were Dwight Gooden, Sandy Koufax, Dizzy Dean, and Don Wilson.
Pitch is up high for a ball. 2-0 the count. Well, okay. Let me see if I can answer the trivia question this way. Dwight Gooden was very good as a rookie, but he did not throw a no-hitter. Sandy Koufax went on to become one of the greatest pitchers of all time, but it took him a few years to harness that fastball, to get the curveball under control. Who was the third choice?
Dizzy Dean.
Dizzy Dean. Hall of Fame career with the Cardinals, but I don't believe he threw a no-hitter, which leads me to D. That's my answer.
And D is correct. Don Wilson did throw a no-hitter his rookie year. He was 22 in June of 1967, where he threw a no-hitter against the Braves.
And who was he pitching for at the time?
He only pitched for the Astros.
Interesting. The pitch. Inside for a ball. 2-1 the count. Yeah, Koufax, for all his brilliance, particularly during that 4 or 5 year stretch in the 60s where he was just utterly dominant, had some real trouble commanding his fastball early on in his career when he was first signed by the then Brooklyn Dodgers, as Tuttle was able to get a walk out of that at-bat. So now Graham Welch comes to the plate. He of the RBI single back in the first inning. But once Koufax was told, hey, take a little bit off your fastball, and that might improve your command a little bit, that's when things took off for Koufax. And then he, along with Don Drysdale, you could not have picked a better 1-2 punch atop a starting rotation at that time than Drysdale and Koufax. Those two were utterly dominant for the Dodgers during the 1960s. As that pitch is down low for a ball. Dwight Gooden, on the other hand, boy, it looked as though that he would have a great career. Of course, a big-time contributor for that 86 Mets team that beat the Red Sox in that thrilling 7-game fall classic. The pitch is fouled off to the left, and now the count moves to 1-1 on Graham Welch. But as many of you might know, a career for Gooden that was derailed by drug addiction, alcohol abuse, all that terrible stuff. Same thing that felled his teammate, Darryl Strawberry. Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry, those were two guys that had Hall of Fame caliber talent as well. Swings and misses at that pitch as the count moves to 1-2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch. Welch swings and misses. And he will be a strikeout victim. So now 2 gone in the inning, and Caleb Eater will come to the plate.
I think it's pivotal for the Scouts to respond in some way here after that 4-run third. The Sugar Beets put up. You got to respond some way. Get at least one of these runs back right here.
Eater struck out swinging his first time up, so 0 for 1 on the night so far. Sugar Beets leading the Scouts by a score of 5-1. 2 out here in the bottom of the third, and a runner at second, a runner at first, as Eater takes a pitch up high for a ball. No hitters so hard to come by. Perfect games, even harder to come by. The pitch is down low for a ball. And what's so interesting about no hitters, about perfect games, as apparently a balk has been issued, as Youngbauer will now have to deal with runners at second and third with 2 gone. So now Eater working with a 2 balls, no strike count. Here's the pitch. That's up high, so now we go full 3-0. What's so interesting about no hitters in perfect games, you could be a certain Hall of Famer like Felix King, and then you can be just a guy, as that pitch is swung on and missed. 3-1 the count now in Eater. You just be a regular guy like Len Bucker for the Indians, who just happened to have a great night pitching for the Cleveland Indians at that time. No hitters, perfect games, they do not discriminate. For one particular day, you just have to be perfect.
I always like to remember Dallas Braden's perfect game back in 2012 where he didn't throw a pitch above 90 miles an hour. Just proved that as long as your control's there, you put it in spots where the hitters can't hit it, you will succeed.
2-2 pitch on the way to Eater. That's swung on a miss for the second time tonight. Eater goes down on strikes. No runs, 1 hit, and a couple men left on base for the Scouts. We play 3 here at Grays Field as we head to the top half of the fourth. It is Sugar Beets 5, Scouts 1, here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Dallas Braden also doing that on Mother's Day. I remember that. That was pretty cool.
Stop raining. At least for the time being.
No, don't worry. There's more coming.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not really going to clear up until 11. God damn it. I'm not going to get out of here until 11. Top half of the fourth here at Grady's Field. It is a 5-1 lead for the Sugar Beets. And speaking of Saginaw, they're coming to bat once again. Noah Marcoux, the leadoff man, will lead things off here for the Sugar Beets. A 4-run inning for Saginaw in the third inning has proven to be the difference in this game so far as that pitch is down low for a ball. Saginaw was able to tally 4 runs on only 1 hit. 3 errors were committed in the field, and there were also 4 walks in the inning committed by Scouts pitching. As this pitch is popped high in the air, Chambers is under it, and he dropped it. Chandler Chambers dropped the ball in left field, and Marcoux will now sit at second.
Number 24, Cooper Marshall.
That will go down as a fielding error for the left fielder Chandler Chambers. He already has an error earlier in this game. And that's now the 4th error of the night for Xenia.
And you just got to make that play. Chambers was camping under it. Could have made a sandwich under it before it landed in his glove. But, I mean, you just got to stay focused and just slipped out of his glove.
That pitch is down low for a ball. And you know what? You really can't blame the rain on that as it's now really cleared up here in Xenia. Temperatures have now gone down to the mid-60s. It's actually quite comfortable here tonight. Pitch is down low for a ball. More rain is expected, but judging by what I just saw on the radar, it looks as though that we'll be able to avoid some severe thunderstorms tonight. And heck, we might be able to get this whole bad boy in before the end of the night. As a hits batsman now, Cooper Marshall reaching on base.
Number 40, Connor Sharpie.
So now Connor Sharping will come to the plate. Diego delivers, and that is it going to be a foul ball? No, they're going to send the runner down to first, apparently. And hit Sharping on the hand.
Number 27, Ryan Robinette.
Second hit batsman of the inning for Diego. And now the bases are loaded. So now Ryan Robinette comes to the plate. Robinette with a single, and then he reached via an error by the left fielder Chambers. Later came around to score during that 4-run third inning. Pitches inside for a ball. Want to know the count on Robinette. And during this frame, we will get you caught up with scores around the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. Taking place in just a moment here as that pitch is swung on and missed. 1-1 the count on Robinette. Well, they've finally gotten underway in Hamilton. They're in the top half of the first. The Joes and the Jazz still scoreless. That pitch is hit into left field for a base knock. 1 run will come in as the Sugar Beets will go station to station. Second RBI of the night for Robinette. He had one back in the first inning. And once again, he knocks in Marcoux with the base knock to left. It is now a 6-1 lead for Saginaw.
And all those free bases being allowed by the Scouts defense, first with the air and the 2 hit batsmen, and easy. It becomes a lot easier to drive in runs for the Sugar Beets the more free bases you allow.
So now Brady Wood will come to the plate. He has grounded out the pitcher, and he's also doubled and scored in this game. Meanwhile, they're in the bottom half of the 7th in Muskegon, and boy, the Clippers are putting a whooping on the Green Giants of St. Clair. That pitch is outside for a ball. 12-0 is the score in favor of Muskegon in that one. They're in the bottom half of the 8th in Gallium. The Graders trailing the Cincinnati Steam in that one 7-1. As that pitch gets away from Truman Brown, it'll roll all the way to the backstop. Scoring on the play is Cooper Marshall. Another run crosses the plate for the Sugar Beets. 7-1 in favor of Saginaw.
And this is common occurrence really for Diego. We see him give out the free bases, and we see the wild pitches start to come and see those free bases come in to score.
2-0 pitch on the way to Wood. And that nearly got away from Brown, too. But Brown is able to stick the glove out and make the catch. It's now a 3-0 count on Brady Wood. Boy, this has already been a rough inning for Diego as he's given up 2 wood. Boy, this has already been a rough inning for Diego as he's given up 2 runs here in the top half of the 4th. Here's the pitch. That is a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike on Brady Wood. Sean Hannon waiting on deck for Saginaw. The Sugar Beets looking to keep possession of third place in the Northern Division as it's fouled off to the right, and now we will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes the right, and now we will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Brady Wood. Saginaw entering with a record of 19-14. Only 2.5 back of division-leading Lima as that pitch once again fouled off to the right. St. Clair, a game behind Lima in the division, but more importantly, Saginaw holding that third and final playoff spot out of the Northern Division. A game behind Lima in the division, but more importantly, Saginaw holding that third and final playoff spot out of the Northern Division. They have a 2.5 game lead over Irish Hills to begin play tonight. And that pitch is up high. It's another walk.
Number 19, Sean.
Brady Wood trots down to first, and now Sean Fannin will come to the plate. Fannin has walked twice in this game. So the runner is, let's see here, Wood is at first. Robinette's at second. Charping at third. Infield brought in for the Scouts as that is swung on and missed by Fannin. 0-1 the count as Diego gets ahead. 2 games canceled tonight. Licking County wasn't able to host Southern Ohio this evening, and Grand Lake was not able to host Irish Hills. As that pitch was inside, and it's another hit batsman for Diego Quinones. As Fannin will head down to first. Scoring on the play is Charping. Another run has crossed the plate for Saginaw. Their third of the inning. 8-1 in favor of the Sugar Beets now. So, boy, 3 runs in the inning here for Saginaw.
Number 12, Max Trucks.
And now Max Trucks comes to the plate. A single and a foul out to the catcher. The pitch. Outside for a ball. 1-0 the count on Trucks. Pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 the count on Trucks. Pitch outside for a ball. 2-0 the count now on Trucks. Trucks swinging it from the left side, and Diego, well, he's wasting no time on the mound. 2-0. Here's a high fly ball out to center field. Welch will make the catch. Tagging from third. And scoring on the play is Robinette. Another run crossing the plate for Saginaw. And that's only the first out of the inning, as that will go down as an RBI sac fly for Max Trucks. 9-1 in favor of Saginaw.
Another run might have crossed, but Diego got an out that he really needed. Hadn't got one yet this inning and got the first one there, so hopefully he can try to bring another one together.
That pitch is fouled off to the left. By the way, nice hustle by Sean Fannin. He tagged up from first and advanced to second on the play. That's something that you don't often see in baseball anymore. That pitch is up high for a ball. Boy, I'm trying to remember. Okay, it was Game 7 of the 2016 World Series, and it was after the rain delay. The Cubs came out. Was it Chris Bryant who tagged up from first, who went to second, and then he was ultimately able to score the go-ahead run, which ultimately gave the Cubs a win in that game?
I believe it was Chris Bryant that tagged up there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. That is swung on a miss by Page as he goes down swinging. 2 away.
That was a really good breaking ball we just saw from Quinones. Looked like it was might have been a curve or a slider because it was a lot of side-to-side movement, but definitely got Page to swing out a pitch way out of the zone on it.
The pitch to Missile now, as that will get away from Truman. Once again, another run will cross the plate for Saginaw as Brady Wood comes in to score. Another wild pitch in the inning for Diego. It's now a 5-run inning for Saginaw. And the Sugar Beets, they're now up by 10. Or, excuse me, they're up by 9, leading 10-1. Pitch by Diego, swung on and missed. 2-1 the count. Boy, not the inning that the scouts were definitely looking for. Started with the error by Chandler Chambers as Diego rocks and deals. Outside for a ball. 2 consecutive batters that were hit by a pitch. A single, a walk, another hit by a pitch, an RBI sac fly, and now a strikeout. And then moments ago, a wild pitch that allowed another run to score. The pitch. Outside. 3-1 the count now on Ryan Missile. Two out here in the top half of the 4th. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball up the middle. It'll be a base hit. That's an RBI single for Ryan Missile. As coming in to score on the play is Sean Fannin. Making an even 6 runs this inning for Saginaw. 11-1 in favor of the Sugar Beets now.
And that's just a testament to what the Scouts pitching staff has done this year. There's allowed a lot of free bases via hit by batsmen and walks, and those guys end up scoring a lot against the Scouts.
Pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 the count on Marcoux, excuse me. Marcoux has walked and scored, struck out swinging, and he's also reached on there and scored. So he's got a couple runs scored on the day, or on the night, I should say. And this is his 2nd time batting in the inning. The 10th man to come to the plate for the Sugar Beets as the throwback to first will not be in time. Runner back safely, that being Missile. Sugar Beets, 11 runs on only 6 hits. No errors in the field. Meanwhile, Scouts, 1 run on 3 hits. They have committed 4 errors in the field tonight as that pitch is up high. And checking his swinging time was Marcoux. Very tough to do when you have high heat like that coming at you. So tempting, yet so hard to hit sometimes. As the rain has reappeared here at Grady's Field. The pitch. And that is on the outside corner for a called strike. 1-2 the count on Noah Marcoux. There is a right-hander warming in the pen for the Scouts, and maybe, just maybe, this will be the last inning for Diego. We shall see. The pitch. Down low. Blocked by Truman Brown. 2-2 the count now on Marcoux. Cooper Marshall waiting on deck for the Sugar Beets. The pitch. Fouled off to the left. So the count will remain at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Noah Marcoux. Not only can we see the rain, but we can also hear the rain, the pitter-patter above us, up there on the roof. See the rain within the lights here at Grady's Field. We're able to play through the rain since this is an all-turf field. Infield, outfield, the whole 9 yards. The pitch. Foul back to the screen. Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 out here in the top half of the 4th. An inning in which the Sugar Beets have put up 6 runs and have lengthened their lead to 11-1 over Xenia. Here's the pitch. And that'll be a foul ball off to the right.
And what has already been a long inning for Diego Marcoux, making longer here with 3 foul balls with 2 strikes on him. Just is really bringing up Quinones. His pitch count is really making him exhausted out there.
Diego sets at the belt. 2-2. And that is fouled off to the left. Bills will give it a look, but it's ultimately out of play. Still 2-2 on Marcoux, the right fielder for the Sugar Beets. And now time has been called as Jason Lester is heading out to the mound. Is Jason Lester about to make a pitching change in the middle of an at-bat? And it looks as though he will. Diego Quinones walks off the mound. We'll introduce the new pitcher to you in just a moment. In the meantime, still in the top half of the fourth. Sugar Beets 11, Scouts 1 here on the Senior Scouts Radio Network.
Pitching for your Xenia Scouts, number 35, Owen Hyatt.
New pitcher on the mound for the Scouts, Owen Hyatt. Comes in here, making his 7th appearance of the season for Xenia. No record, earned an average of 16.34. And he's pitched in 12 and 2/3 innings so far this season. He struck out 13, and he has walked 16. So Noah Marcoux will come to the plate. And it is already a 2-ball, 2-strike count with 2 outs here. Still rather confused that Jason Lester decided to take Diego Quinones out, seeing that you're in the middle of the at-bat and you're 1 strike away. And Hyatt does the job, a swing and a miss, as Marcoux goes down swinging to end the inning. But not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 runs scored in the frame for the Sugar Beets. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. It is Saginaw 11, Xenia 1, here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Back here at Grays Field, Truman Brown leading things off for the Scouts, and Truman Brown is immediately hit by the pitch. So there's a base runner right there for the Scouts. Boy, they're going to need plenty of them as they trail the Sugar Beets 11-1 here in the bottom half of the fourth.
Yeah, the Scouts have found themselves in this situation quite a lot recently, being down by a lot of runs early. And like I've said, in every one of those instances, you got to start chipping away early. You don't want to leave that big sum of runs for one inning.
And the pitch taken for a strike, and that's an easy stolen base right there for Truman Brown, as he immediately gets into scoring position. During this inning, we'll get you caught up with scores around Major League Baseball. Meanwhile, Truman Brown, boy, he's just trotting around the bases right there. They don't really care about Brown stealing those bases. In fact, you can probably put that down as catcher's indifference right there.
Well, Youngbauer's also going from the windup, which just allows the runner to go whenever they want.
That pitch is swung on and missed by Bills. So one gone now in the inning after Bill strikes out swinging, and Carter Boswell will come to the plate. Boswell struck out looking his last time up. The pitch. And Boswell swings and lifts a fly ball into right field. And Marcoux able to make the catch. And staying put at third was Truman Brown. So already two gone here. In the top half of the ninth, or top half of the fourth, excuse me. Bottom of the fourth. I'm going to get this right at some point. The pitch by Youngbauer. And that gets away. Scoring on the play will be Truman Brown. (11-2) in favor of Saginaw. So Bacon back at the plate. We'll go ahead and get you started with a couple of Major League Baseball scores. Top half of the seventh in the Bronx. It's a Subway Series between the Yankees and the Mets as Bacon swings and misses. It's a 1-1 count. The Mets leading the Yankees in that one by a score of 6-3. Top half of the eighth in our nation's capital. The Atlanta Braves leading the Nats in that one 8-3 as Bacon swings and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Zach. They're in the middle of the seventh in Philadelphia. The Phillies leading the Padres 7-5 in that game. And they're in the middle of the ninth, heading to the bottom of the ninth in Toronto. The Blue Jays and the Orioles tied at 7. The pitch. Swung on a miss by Bacon. Inning over for the Scouts. They do score 1 run on no hits, and they don't leave a man on base. We'll finish up the rest of the Major League Baseball scores when we come back. We head now to the top half of the fifth. Sugar Beets 11, Scouts 2, here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Back here at Grady's Field, top half of the fifth. Sugar Beets leading the Scouts 11-2. And while we have a moment, let's go ahead and give you some more scores around the major. They're in the bottom half of the seventh in Detroit. The hometown Tigers trailing the red-hot Red Sox by a score of 1-0. Boston had 68 wins in the first half of the season. They might be well on their way to winning over 100 games this year. Top half of the ninth in Tampa Bay. The Rays trailing the Marlins by a score of 6-1. They're in the bottom half of the fourth in Arlington, Texas. The Rangers are tied 3 apiece with the Cleveland Indians. Bottom half of the sixth in Milwaukee, the Brewers and Dodgers tied at 1. Top half of the fifth in Kansas City, the Royals leading the Twins in that one 3-1. And let's see here, a couple of games out near the West Coast have gotten started. Giants and the Athletics scoreless in the top half of the first. D-backs and Rockies scoreless in the top half of the first as well. As Owen Pyatt goes back to work. And the first batter that he will see is Cooper Marshall. Marshall swings and misses. Already in a 1-strike count. That pitch is down low, so now it is 1-1. They're beginning to get started in Cincinnati. Reds and the Pirates in a long rain delay, as you would expect with all the nasty weather that has been blowing through southwest Ohio. Coming up later on tonight, Astros being hosted by the Angels out in Anaheim at 10:07 as that pitch is swung on a miss by Marshall. 2-2 the count now on the Sugar Beets designated hitter. At 10:10, the Mariners play host to the Chicago White Sox. That pitch is swung on a miss by Marshall. He becomes the first out of the inning. And finally, how about this? A final from Wrigley Field today as the Cardinals and the Cubs renewed their longtime rivalry. It was all Cardinals, 18-5. More appropriately, it was all Matt Carpenter. 3 homers on the day to go along with 2 doubles. That has not happened since Chris Bryant did it against the Reds a couple years ago. As that pitch is hit out into right field, and the catch is made by Zach Bacon. 2 gone. That was a nice catch by Bacon considering all the rain that's been falling. So 2 gone in the inning. And now Ryan Robinette will come to the plate. Riley, what do you think of what Matt Carpenter did for the Redbirds earlier today?
Yeah, 3 home runs, 2 doubles, 5 for 5, 7 RBIs. I mean, you can't really have a better day. You can't map out a better day at the plate than that. He was just seeing the ball very well, putting great swings on the ball. When you only get extra base hits, I mean, that's a great day.
The pitch popped up high in the air into foul territory. Bill's over, and Bill's not able to make the catch. Bill's ran into a corner of the wall that leads into the bullpen area for the Scouts. Boy, I don't know if he lost that into the rain, the lights, whatever, but it looked like he had a beat on the ball, but not able to make the catch.
And those are tough catches to make. Usually the shortstop takes balls at those angles because the third baseman have a awkward angle at that ball.
1-1 pitch is fouled off to the right. So now the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Robinette, who has singled twice and has also scored twice tonight. The 1-2. And that's over the head of Robinette that time as that ball just basically slipped out of the hands of Owen Pyatt. Just to wrap things up on the Carpenter situation. Matt Carpenter, that is. Probably really good news for Cardinals fans who, boy, they've been going through a rough stretch, recently firing their manager, Mike Matheny. So I'm sure fans of the Redbirds will certainly welcome that side of Matt Carpenter putting on an offensive clinic down there at the friendly confines on the north side of Chicago. There's a grounder. Nice pick. Throw to first. In time. What a play by Nick Tuttle. Dove to his right. Slung it across the infield in time for the final out of the inning. And for the first time tonight, the Sugar Beets go down 1-2-3 in the top half of the 5th. We now head to the bottom half of the 5th. Sugar Beets 11, Scouts 2 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We begin action now in the bottom half of the 5th. Coming to the plate for the Scouts now is Felix King, who struck out looking his first time up. As Youngbauer continues to throw out there on the mound for the Sugar Beets, wearing their red jersey tops along with white pants. The pitch. That's on the outside corner for a call strike. 1-2 the count on King. Last night, Sugar Beets decided to go with the black tops and white numbers. The pitch. Up high for a ball. 2-2 the count on Felix King.
Youngbauer's done a very good job of setting the Scouts down in early in counts. Only one hitter for the Scouts has been able to bring a count full.
Pitch inside for a ball. King now has 3 balls and 2 strikes. Youngbauer, meanwhile, looks in for a sign from his catcher, Sharping. The pitch. Fouled off to the right. balls and 2 strikes. Young Bauer, meanwhile, looks in for a sign from his catcher, Sharping. The pitch. Fouled off to the right.